Police have arrested more than 200 people in Hamilton County this year for having guns they're not supposed to have.
Some are still in jail. Many are out either because they could afford bail or were outright released by the judge. Brad Underwood joins us from the Hamilton County Courthouse with a look at how common it is for people facing gun charges to actually be released. Brad.
Well, good evening, Paula. And the short answer to that is it is very common when you're just talking about that gun charge. Now, if there are other charges accompanying the gun charge, especially violent crimes, then of course the bail is going to be much higher. You know, we always have to remember that everyone arrested is presumed innocent, and recent Ohio law changes are now evening the playing field when it comes to bail. Police say Darius Harris shot 3 people nearly a week ago. At the time of the shooting, Harris was out on bail for gun charges stemming from an April traffic stop.
This is not unusual when something of this nature happens. The media gets a hold of it. They say, aha, the defendant was out on bond. Someone should have locked him up sooner. I think that's highly inappropriate.
Derek Gustafson represents Harris on the new felony assault charges. He also represented him in April and says Harris's release to await trial without the need of a cash bond was appropriate.
There was no admission by my client that he knew the gun was there. There were no facts and evidence that the state had to show that he knew the gun was in the vehicle.
A grand jury later dropped 2 of the charges but kept the felonies. Looking back at the last month, 22 people were arrested and charged with the same 2 crimes Harris was back in April: carrying a concealed weapon and having it in a car where anyone could get it. Of the 22, 8 were released on OR bonds like Harris was. 8 had bonds of $5,000, 1 a $10,000 bond, 1 $15,000 bond, and 4 others had bonds of $20,000. All had to pay 10% of their bond to get out of jail. So at the end of the day, nobody facing the exact same charges paid more than $2,000 to be released and await trial at home versus the Justice Center.
Hamilton County has had a long history of judges requiring cash on bonds, which has led to many people being incarcerated in the Justice Center.
Now, I did speak to the director of the Ohio Prosecuting Attorneys Association this afternoon about this. He says, the gun violence problem here in Hamilton County really isn't any different than they're seeing across the state. It is a statewide problem, and that their association is working closely with county prosecutors' offices and state lawmakers to try to make some changes when it comes to these gun laws. Reporting downtown, Brad Underwood, Local 12 News. Paula.
Thank you, Brad. Darius Harris is currently at the Justice Center awaiting trial. His bond is $1 million.